Hey, good morning, traders. Please like this video if you like it. I love to have comments below on the YouTube channel if you can, and especially things if you see things that I don't see. I'm happy if you post something, give me a heads up. And please, like I said, retweet me on Twitter if you get a chance. That way we can get some viewers, more viewers on these videos. So what they did yesterday into the close, they took us right down to the current week's anchored VWAP. And what they did, it looked like they actually took us below it to where the trend in the markets would have been opening right into that anchored VWAP at the closing price. So I actually took a small short, and obviously I'm getting destroyed this morning. But what we are getting this morning is possibly a blow off top scenario. I can't say for sure that's what's happening right here, but you see this channel that I got in the S&Ps. This is a major channel for the S&Ps. If you go back, I'll zoom out here real quick, and we're above that channel this morning. We are like we were back over here. We're above the channel this morning. Heads up on that. For your see this major channel. This is where it's at, and we're currently trading above this major channel. So be very mindful of that this morning. So I just wanted to give you that heads up there. This is the scenario you would be looking for people coming in and adding puts right out of the gate. You know, so if you do a fib extension, let me go here. If you go from this high here down to the low and do a fib extension up to here, this move right here puts us up to the 78.6, right above this top of the channel. So things are lining up like this. This is your textbook setup for a blow off top. Okay, I'm not for sure that's what you are getting. So this gap this morning should fill, by your textbook blow off top scenario. There is some major there's a major call wall at 568, and we're currently trading above that. So 568 is key. If we come back down to 568 and possibly even fail below that, then that's going to be a big payday. So initially this morning, my plan is to actually add more shorts, knowing where my out's going to be. Okay, maybe that's the wrong approach, but that's kind of what I'm looking here on SPY. Okay, Qs. Okay, so Qs are not in a similar situation. The top of the channel is going to put us way up here. So you had to go back to all-time highs to get back to that top of that channel here on the Qs. Okay, so and that could very well be what we're doing. I don't know. Similar situation. It was acting. The anchored VWAP for the week has been in a downtrend all week. We're breaking out, blowout. We just filled a prior gap high. Right here is a prior gap high. So we are into what potentially is a resistance area. Okay, so this is a prior gap high. So we know historically this area sold off hard the last time we came into it. So that's another suggestion that we might be into resistance right here, right now in the markets. IWM. We have a massive call wall at 225. We're initially this morning, we're coming all the way back down into it. Already seeing some retracement back into that 225 call wall. So as you can see, back in end of July, 1st of August, this has acted as a resistance area. The 225 has acted as resistance. If you go out in a bigger time frame, you go maximize this, and we'll go out on a 5-year weekly. Okay, so the 225, that's going to put us right here. Okay, that was right before the big sell down. So basically, if you're thinking this is a cup and handle pop put scenario, we're right back at the top of the cup. Okay, so we're opening right in the top of that cup right there early on this morning. So be mindful of that. I would think you can make the case that this is a resistance area. We'll see what happens here. We may be just blowing right out of above the call wall this morning. So other things I'm looking at, diamonds. Okay, we're into this trend. Okay, let me go back over here, daily here. Yeah. Okay, diamonds this morning, we're right at all-time highs here on the diamonds. Right here, that's a 78.6 fib as well. Be mindful of that. All-time highs, and we're at a 78.6 fib on the diamonds this morning as well. So that's another thing to be mindful about. Let me see if I can zoom that out, show you where I anchored it. Let me go forward here. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of the way it's playing out here. You see how we had this consolidation right here? We're breaking out. The end of this pattern should be around the 433 possibly, you know, to complete the pattern. Doesn't mean we have to. We're currently into the 78.6. A lot of times the 78.6, that is it. So we have to be very mindful of that. Okay, SMH. This is what, unfortunately, this kind of looks like a Head and Shoulders situation. We're going to be 438 this morning. It's still a valid Head and Shoulders. And 239.29, I put a little trend line right there. That's that prior high on the other shoulder. Let me see, what was that high? 239.14. Okay. Give me 1 second here. 239.14. Okay. Zoom in here. And this is where we're at right now. So we're into that prior high for the Head and Shoulders. Okay. Currently right here on SMH. So be very mindful of what's happening right here, right now. Okay. And so that's definitely, what time frame is that candle? Yeah, that we might actually have a gap right here. Let me double check it here. Equities, show extended, apply. Yeah, there's a gap right there. So there is a gap right here, guys. Right above us here. Right there. On the IWM. So that's where we're at right here, right now on the IWM. I didn't see that earlier. Okay, there you go. So there's a gap above us, going right up into that gap here on the IWM. So be very mindful of that. We are above what was the call wall. So in a positive gamma situation for the day. Like I said, if we get any higher, then that's starting to negate the Head and Shoulders, you know, pattern that's currently in the SMH. So be very mindful of that. You can just put an alert right above that actually, and is you know, it does make sense that we could be coming right back up here. You know, even today, you know, there is that definite. You can make that case, but technically, we're coming in this morning. The bearish pattern, the Head and Shoulders bearish pattern, is still valid. Don't know how much longer that will be the case, but you know, so there's that. You know, that's three things: the Q, SPY, and the SMH are still, you know, the bearish scenario is still valid. May not be that way much longer, so we'll see what happens. Okay, Apple right into the call wall this morning. We're still below the call wall on Microsoft, so neither one of them are breaking out. We're into a 78.6 fib here on, how did I draw that? I can't remember. I can't remember how I drew that. So we do have the 200-day moving average above us here for the AMD. We're still technically in bearish territory. This 150 area is a really big deal for AMD. Very difficult to get out of it. NVIDIA this morning, still not giving us a lot of love here. Just heads up on that. I'd put alert above the pre-market highs, and then we'll see from there if it can continue to go. So that we've been in a downtrend all week. We're at the downtrend highs. That's all I can say about Nvidia. I'd say above pre-market highs. You might be able to try a long there for a reversal of trend this morning. If the bulls do come in here, but this is still a bearish pattern on Nvidia. So you want to definitely, remember that. Tesla, really bad, really bad EV sales in Europe came out this morning. And yet Tesla's here at 233. Heads up on that. So August for EV sales were bad in Europe. So we're right into what has acted as serious resistance. Now we have the headline risk as well. So that's another thing. That's number 5 on the bearish scenario, in my opinion. Google, yeah, pattern looks pretty good to the upside. We'll see what happens here. So are we into a gap? Can't remember. Double check it here, guys. Should have already done that. Yeah, we're into a gap here, guys, on Google. So doesn't have to fill, but that's what's going on here with Google this morning. Right there, we're into a gap on Google this morning. Be mindful of that. There you go. See? So, this Google chart suggests, we might have a little bit more juice in the tank out of the gate for at least Google. Meta all-time highs. Meta has all-time highs, but we're into a massive call wall. A massive call wall at 550. So be mindful of that. So when I come into the markets and we haven't actually broken through the call walls, I'm actually leaning more to the bearish side. I got Apple into the call wall. I got Meta into the call wall. So be mindful of that. Now Nvidia, that's the wild card, in my opinion, going into today's session. That could actually take everything higher. Amazon's kind of looks like it's trying to break out here. 189. That's not really a breakout. You're really not broken out till you get to 191.93. Okay, so it's really not a breakout. You have a prior swing high right here. Had a lot of resistance right here, the 190. Basically, the 190 area here, this has acted as a lot of resistance on Amazon. So technically, this area right here, right now on Amazon, this is actually, you should be shorting the pop. That's another one confirming the short. XLF this morning, okay, we're into a double topping situation at all-time highs. Anything can happen in that one, in my opinion. So double topping at all-time highs. This is a inverse head and shoulders. You see that, guys? The inverse head and shoulders on this. So this thing might have legs. You can actually put an alert right at all-time highs and possibly take it longer. That's a bullish pattern. XLI this morning, not really getting out of its way this morning. So we do have a technical. No, we're still in the trouble on that one. XLB showing a little bit of weakness this morning. Still, the trend is still intact for XLB. XLV, that's our healthcare. So they are taking healthcare up. It's a defensive name early on this morning. So let's be mindful of that. They are. XLU looks like it's trying to break down here. It's still holding weekly trend. Transports, that's not really going to, IYT is not really a big deal because FedEx is reporting tonight. So you can't really say much about the transports. XLY, so we are gapping up. Let's see, 196, possibly all-time new highs here this morning on, yeah, we are all-time new highs on consumer discretionary this morning. So, this is the bullish case because this thing could have legs all the way to the top of the channel. Another way of doing this, you see that channel there? You can put a secondary channel on that. This has acted as a resistance area as well. Right there. There you go. See, we're trading right at that secondary resistance this morning. So heads up on that. Could possibly be topping right there. Top, you know. Maybe not this top here, but we could actually be topping right here, right now on XLY, XLP. That's consumer staples. That was our defensive area. We are in a slight downtrend. We are in the bearish side of trend. So they have gone away from the safety trade. They're into the more aggressive trades. Okay, XRT. It's not a breakout on XRT, but it's right near all-time or near highs here on XRT, XLE. We have completed the pattern for a possible inverse head and shoulders. So we do have a possible inverse head and shoulders. We just completed that pattern to the upside. So likelihood is we'll chop around here on XLE, XLK, potentially breaking out. So we definitely got to keep that on watch. Put a downtrend line on this. So there you go. There is our downtrend on XLK. We're currently poking above the downtrend on XLK this morning. Just poking above the downtrend. Definitely keep that one on watch today. So things were, after the Fed came out, the weekly trend for technology has been down. So be mindful of that. Like I said, a lot of stuff into resistance this morning. And we're just barely poking our head above the downtrend here on XLK. Netflix actually broke trend yesterday, but now is actually it's back to our weekly trend on that. Palantir really is still a beast on that one. It was a big one yesterday. And in our communications sector, it's still holding out like a champ. Facebook is really holding it in there. We're still trying to break. XLC's trying to break out to all-time new highs right out of the gate this morning. The prior all-time highs is right there. We're trying to get back into that blow-off top area above here. So we've done it once already, okay, and it failed, and now we're trying to do it again early on this morning. So be mindful of that. Okay, so that's a quick rundown. So see what happens here. I think the VIXs are going to get a nice bid early on this morning. Let's see what happens here. Early on this morning, you're down 4.18% on the VIX. So be mindful of the VX futures. So the VIX is coming off pretty hard already this morning. So we got to see that change. So you actually have to, we're definitely going to have to see that change pretty quick here for the scenario of a blow off top. So heads up on that. Okay, so that gives you some ideas I'm looking at here. My initial trades will probably be looking for some short scalps and with defined stops. And if that doesn't work out, I'll apply flip over to some call side activity. As I've shown you guys, we're into a lot of resistance to open the session. That doesn't mean we're not going to blow right through it. So, okay, thanks a lot for listening.